Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Donna Smith, the owner of Langsoond Yarn. I'm going to speak about today what we've been up to recently, show you some new yarn and also talk a little bit about knitting. So grab yourself a cup of tea and I hope you enjoy. It's been quite a while since I recorded the last video. I think it's been about a few months. It's been quite a busy summer here. One of the things that's kept me busy is this is the first year that I've opened the shop regular hours. So I've got a little shop on the side of the house and I opened it this summer for the first time to the public set hours. So during the summer months I've been opening on Fridays and Saturdays just for a few hours a day from 12 till 3, and that's been really good. I've seen lots of different people, mostly tourists, which has been really great. People from all over the world, so either people have known about me and have come here specially, or some people have been passing because they've seen the sign at the end of the road, which is really great. So it's been amazing to meet people from all over the world and to be able to tell them about the yarn and tell them about or show them where the yarn comes from. I'm going to be open until the end of September on Fridays and Saturdays, and as this is the middle of September, there's only a couple of weekends left. Wool Week starts, Shetland Wool Week starts on the 29th of September, and I will be open most days during that week. There's 2 days that I won't be open because I've got private classes here. I'll be open most days for really the whole day, but the best thing to do is just to have a look at the website, my website for opening times. And I'll link that below. You'll also find on the website directions. I'm about 10 miles from Lerwick, the main town of Shetland, and so I've got directions on the website as well, so that should make it easy to find. So if you're in Shetland during Wool Week, or indeed if you're a local and you fancy coming along, then please do. It'll be really good to see you. I can also open by appointment as well, so with the days that I'm not officially open, I can open by appointment if you can't make it on the times that I'm open. And also during the winter months, I'll be opening by appointment as well. I might open a few times during the winter, depending on what's happening. Last year I planned to open for a couple of days, and then the weather ended up being so bad I had to cancel. So I think we'll just see how it goes, and I'll post any openings on social media and in my newsletter. There's been a lot of groups visiting as well this year, so I've had lots of groups that are here with tours, which is really good. Again, people from all over the world, and it's showing still how interested people are in Shetland, and in particular the textiles in Shetland. It's mostly been knitting groups, but there've been a few non-knitting groups, so that's been fantastic to see all those people. And indeed, if you're a tour operator and you want to come along, then just give me an email. It would be great to see you as well. I've also been doing some classes for tour groups as well. So I've been teaching for Misha Hayes' Shetland Wool Adventures tours, and that's been really good to meet all those people from all over the world. So I've got the last 2 classes this weekend, and then that's it for the season. So it has been quite a busy summer so far. The other thing we've been doing, we've been working on the Croft quite a bit. We did our usual sheep shearing, which of course we have to do every year, and we have to get the fleeces off the sheep, otherwise they'll overheat and other things like that. And then of course we have to start packing the fleece to get ready for making yarn. And then we spent the summer, we had a couple of busy days making hay. So we still make hay the traditional way, and we have a hay meadow, so we leave it to grow during the spring and summer, and then during the summer this year we cut it in about the middle of July, and we cut it using the old Massey Ferguson tractor, which is about 70 years old and still going strong. My dad, he's the tractor driver, so he cuts the hay, and then it's turned and dried and raked up, and we have to leave it to dry before it can go into the byre. And then there's usually one day that we all decide that we need to go and get it in the barn or in the byre, so it's all hands on deck and everybody has to come and it's gathered up onto the tractor and then taken to the barn, and it's put in there for the winter. So it's just basically bundled into the barn where it's left. It's dry at that point, so it has to be dry before it goes in, and then it's just left, and then we can use it as we need it. And that barn full of hay does us the whole winter, so that saves us buying hay or anything like that. It's really good to be able to grow our own hay. We get the diversity of the plants within the hay meadow, so it's really good for the sheep to be able to provide them with different nutrients. Something we've done this year that we haven't done for a long time is we cultivated what we call the kale yard. The kale yard is a stone enclosure, a big vegetable garden basically. And years ago it was filled with Shetland kale. Shetland kale is a sort of subspecies of kale which is really hardy, and it was always grown in the past to be fed to the cattle and sometimes the sheep. And when there was cattle, well, there's usually one or two cows on the Croft here. And my dad says he remembers having to plant about 3,000 kale plants every year. So we don't do that anymore, and it's been left to go fallow for many years. I've always had a little bit of a vegetable patch in it, but this year we decided that we would put in a bird seed mix. So we had been growing it for hay, so it was a little bit of a hay meadow, but it was starting to get a bit mossy, and it really needed an overhaul. So I got some seeds via the RSPB, which is the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, and it's a scheme called Species on the Edge. So it's a scheme that's helping to provide the habitat and food for birds and birds and plants and other insects and things like that. Species that their habitat is endangered, or also their food source is endangered. So years ago, all the crofts had crops grown on them, and so that provided food and shelter for lots of different birds. And this time we're particularly speaking about twite, or we called them in Shetland linties. So the numbers of linties in Shetland have really fallen since people stopped growing crops. And the reason they stopped growing crops is because, a lot of land has gone over for silage. There's a lot more sheep on the land. Crops are quite time consuming. People don't have so much time, lots of different reasons. So basically, there's not so many crops in Shetland, so that means there's not so many places for the twite to shelter and also to get their food. So this year we decided to get some seeds and to scatter them into the yard. So first of all, we had to plough the land. I'm a great believer in no dig and sort of not upturning the soil, but sometimes you get to a stage when you really have to do it. The grass was, or the ground was very mossy. It was quite hard packed, so we got the plough in there and overturned it, and then we scattered the seed mix, and it's full of different species like clover, mustard, linseed, different kale species, and those plants are providing, the flowers are providing food for bees. So when I go down in among it, it's getting a bit late now, but during the summer when I went in among it, then I could just hear the buzz in among the flowers. And then as it's going to seed, then that's providing food for the birds. So we've just done a small area. I've put in some oats as well. So just to see how that goes, and that's grown really well. And those crops will be really good for fertilising the soil as well, and helping for sort of future production. I've got a bit of it planted up with vegetables this year, so that's been really good to be able to have some of our own vegetables. It's quite a hard place to try and grow things here. We're right on the side of a hill, surrounded by the sea from every angle, and it's very windy at times, but I've managed to grow a few cabbages and carrots and potatoes, things like that. So, but it's always still a learning process, even though I've been doing it for quite a few years, off and on. There's still lots to learn. Some years things work and some years things don't work. So we'll see how it goes next year, and hopefully I'll be able to expand a bit more and see how it goes. So that's basically what's been happening on the Croft. Just the usual everyday sort of feeding sheep and things like that. This year I've got some new yarn, which was very exciting. So I sent away some fleeces early this year, and then I've just received back a new batch of yarn, and this time it's all Shetland fleeces. So the fleeces come from our own sheep and also from the fleeces of our friends and neighbours. So quite a few of the crafts on the Isleburgh, where I'm living, goes into this yarn. So the crafters, they come along with it, and then I pack it all up together, sort it into colours, and it gets sent away and comes back as this lovely colours of yarn. So I've got a few of the colours here. I think we've got, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's a white as well. So this time, this is a 4-ply, so, or we would call it Shetland jumper weight. So it is, I'll put the yardage down below because I can't remember off the top of my head. And this is the natural undyed colours here. So we've got this is the Shetland black. So it's a very, very dark brown. We would call that Shetland black, very dark brown. And then the next darkest one is I would call that clod. Clod is a piece of peat, which it just reminded me of that colour. And this is more the dark grey, so it's a bit of Shetland black, but there's more of a fleck going through it. This one here is like a darker grey, and then I've also got 2 other shades of grey. And how the mill gets that is they mix a percentage of the undyed colours, like maybe the Shetland black, or some of the sheep are a mixture of colours, so they're not just one colour. Mostly they tend to be various colours. So instead of having to try and pick out all the individual colours, then the mill can blend them together with white, different percentages, to give different shades of grey, and they all work really nicely together. And then that's the murret there. So I'm really pleased with them. These will be on sale during Shetland Wool Week. So they will be for sale in my shop here in Borough, and I will also be at the opening ceremony. I'll have a little table there on the Sunday evening, the 29th, I think that is. And then I will be at the Makers Market in Lerwick on the Saturday, is that either the 5th or 6th, I can't remember, but it's the last Saturday of Shetland Wool Week, and I will have a table there. After Shetland Wool Week, I will be putting these online, so you can look out for them once you're you know, if you can't make it to Shetland Wool Week and you would like to try some of these. The other colour that I didn't mention is the undyed white, the natural white, or the Kexi I call that. So I've got that as well. I've not dyed any of it yet. I'm busy dyeing the double knit and the lace weight, and I'll have quite a lot of dyed yarn for Shetland Wool Week. And again, after Shetland Wool Week, then the dyed yarn will go online. This year I took the dyed yarn off the website, because what we needed to do was we needed to integrate the shop here with online sales, so that if I sold something here, then it would go off the website automatically. So we've got that set up, so that means that I can then in the future put the dyed yarn on the website, and you know, if anybody buys it out the shop, it won't muck up the system. So that is the new yarn. So I'm very excited to be able to work with that. I have actually got a knitting project, so I will go quickly back again. So this is the project I've been working on using the 4-ply, and this is the Isleburgh Toorie. This is the official Wool Week pattern, hat pattern for this year's Shetland Wool Week, and you can just see the rams coming into view there. It's a really nice pattern to work. I'm hoping to finish it by next Friday. That's nearly always what I do. I always leave it to the last minute, so nothing new there. I'm hoping this year I will get it finished. Last year I had to take my hat with the needle still in it, but this year I'm hoping that I'll be able to get it cast off. I have been away this weekend, and I took some of the yarn with me that I was planning to knit this hat with, and I only took 4 shades. The pattern actually uses 5, so I've just got 4 shades in there, but I think it's actually working quite nicely, and the rams are starting to show up quite well as well. I'm liking how it's knitting up. I'm using size 2.5mm needles here, just to go. I thought, because it's slightly thicker than the yarn that's used in the pattern, that I would go down a needle size. So I'll see how it goes. This is my swatch. I didn't swatch anything separately, but this is my swatch. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Yeah, so that's the project so far. I also knitted a little swatch as well, so I still have to block that. This was knitted on size 3mm needles, so I'm liking the fabric of that. I'm preferring it. This is going to be quite a dense fabric, but that's usually often quite nice for a hat. But I'm liking this knitted on the size 3 needles, and that's done in the sort of middle grey or the light grey. I've been doing a little bit of knitting over the summer. Not a lot of knitting because I've not really had much time, but I've done a couple of projects which will be patterns for publications. So unfortunately I can't show you anything just yet, but I do have a finished object. So that's this cardigan I've got on here. So I was knitting this in the last video. I think I just maybe got a little bit to finish, and so I finished it a few weeks ago and got it blocked. It's a mix of 2 of the patterns in my book, and the book is there. So the book is Langsoond Shetland yarn, and the patterns in it's the wearing cardigan, and also so that's the wearing cardigan there, and also the Scarpigert Cardigan, which is that one there. And the 2 patterns are very similar, but the bodies are different. So the wearing cardigan has got a wider body. The Scarpigert is shorter and fitted with a narrower waist. and the wearing cardigan is a straighter shape. So what I actually did was I cast on the number of stitches for the wearing cardigan, but did it the length of the Scarpigert cardigan, so that I didn't have to figure out the number of buttons. So I cast on the number of stitches for the wearing cardigan, knitted it to the length outside for the Scarpigert, and then did the basically the decreases for the raglan sleeves, and then the neck are exactly the same in both patterns. So that's the sort of the mashup between the two patterns. The buttons here they're from the Textile Garden. I get most of my buttons from there. They have really nice, just quite simple buttons, but really really work well with these sort of plainer garments. The yarn is Langsoond double knit, and it's been dyed with rhubarb leaves and logwood, so you get that sort of nice grey, kind of bluish colour, which is one of my favourites. And I made it just to be able to wear with dresses or high-waisted trousers. I quite like a shorter cardigan for those sort of things, so that's why I chose the sort of between the two patterns. The patterns are actually available now as individual downloads, so you can get them from Ravelry at the moment. If you buy one of the cardigans, you'll get the other one as a free download. So it's because they're quite similar, then I thought it was nice to be able to sell them as a package. So if you order, say for example, if you buy the wearing cardigan, you will get an email with a link for the Scarpigert cardigan, so that you can download that as well. If for any reason it doesn't work, just give me an email and let me know that you didn't get the link. But hopefully it should all work out. All the patterns from this book are now available as individual downloads as well, and you'll find them on my Ravelry page, and again I'll put the link below. I think that's about it for the moment. So just looking forward to Shetland Wool Week. I've got quite a few projects that I'm thinking about knitting. I've got a couple of new designs on the needles, and so hopefully as the sort of nights draw in a bit more and the weather gets a bit more wintry, then I'll get some more time to knit and maybe get some more videos made in the future. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy, and we'll see you again soon, I hope. Okay, thanks, bye.